Hi, my name is Dave Crouch. I'm a lifelong martial arts practitioner, Kenpo black belt, sometimes Kenpo instructor. I'm also a master practitioner and trainer in neuro-linguistic programming and generative hypnosis. Coming out with a book soon called Whole Brain Kenpo, Neuro-Hacking the Wizard Within. And that book is how to use NLP and hypnosis to hack the potentials that are residing in your own unconscious mind, to kind of help improve your mind-body connections so that you can do better at the Kenpo that you're practicing. A lot of people know that hypnosis is all about kind of getting into the unconscious, finding resources in there that are bringing them to the forefront of the mind. And a lot of people aren't that familiar with NLP. NLP's been called hypnosis with your eyes open because it really focuses around the same goals. It's about identifying resources that are outside the field of our normal awareness, contacting those resources, and then bringing them to play in whatever field of endeavor we're engaged with. I've been doing neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis for over 30 years, 35-ish. I've been doing Kenpo since I was 6, and my goal with this book was to kind of share my passion for both and how they come together. What got me into NLP in the first place was this notion that we could find a way to improve our performance by touching base with our unconscious mind, kind of consulting with our own brain, and then using the information that the brain provides in response to that consultation to make our Kenpo better. And I think this is fascinating, so I went into it and I've been in it ever since. In a nutshell, for people who are interested and might want to look into the book a little bit more, the notion behind all of it is that the brain is a really amazing supercomputer. It can do things that we don't even know it can do yet. We haven't found the limitations of mind and body yet, or mind-body connection. And what we want to be able to do as Kenpoists is to tap into the power of our mind, to apply it to our Kenpo, to drive performance improvement. The brain is an interesting organ in as much as it only knows how to do what we ask it or tell it to do. That's about it. We tell it to do certain things or ask it to do certain things based on our beliefs, on our perceptions, on our projections, and on our expectations. If we have low expectations of our brain because of our beliefs and what's possible, then we'll get low-level answers from it with respect to what we want it to do to improve our Kenpo. If we ask a different set of questions, our brain will figure out how to answer those questions. It'll do the math and then give us a very different result than what we're acclimated to or what we're accustomed to. Performance improvement, by and large, is about changing how we ask the brain questions and what we ask it, the questions and how we ask it. When I do seminars with people, a lot of times what I'll do is start the seminar by saying, I want you to close your eyes and touch your finger to your nose. And everybody does it. And then I'm going to have them close their eyes and say, now what I want you to do is picture your face, a duplicate of your face, a mask of your face that is 6 inches out in front of your face, and touch that mask on the nose. And if I have a room full of 50 people, all 50 do it, they all go, boom, they're exactly 6 inches out. And what's fascinating to me is that they've never done this before. This isn't something they've been practicing at home for years and years and years. This is the first time anyone has asked them this obscure of a question, and yet they're able to do it. The brain, having been posed a question, did the math to figure out what that mask would look like, where it's placed, and then what it had to do with the body in order to perform meeting that expectation. So a lot of performance improvement with NLP is about posing questions or expectations to the deep mind in such a way that it has to do the math, do the calculations, and provide us with some new answers to ideas and challenges that it just didn't know existed before. And as we learn how to set up those channels of communication with the deep conscious mind, we're able to keep getting better and better and better at a faster rate than people typically ever even imagined possible. That's been what's kept me in NLP and in Kenpo for the vast majority of my life now, is this notion that we have not yet discovered where the potential for growth ends when we apply these technologies. Anytime I tell people I'm working with them and coaching them, and I say, okay, now let's turn it up 1% more, 5% more, 10% more. And we get to a point where we think that's it, we can't possibly get better. They go, okay, let's try 1% more. And we are always able to get better and better and better still. And that's what we're aiming for in this book. Strategies to improve performance are typically, on a regular basis, error correction, discovery, and refinement. If we have a move that we know is supposed to go like just so, and we're doing it wrong, then we do error correction. If my hand sword's going like this, that's not the same as a hand sword that goes straight to the target. So I'm going to error correct until I have a answer that does what I ask of it. As we're practicing, we might discover new things, new ways I can hold tension in my body, new ways I can, create a marriage of gravity effect or a directional harmony by the way I'm using my body in the course of this motion. And then once I go, aha, I have some new information, then I start working on refining that information. And this process of error correction, discovery, refinement is a big piece of what we're looking at in this book about how to use NLP and hypnosis to touch the deep parts of the unconscious mind that already know how to do something, or are certainly very capable of figuring it out if we just ask. And then saying, here, help me with this hand sword, help me with this technique, help me with this kick, how can I do it better? A lot of times in hypnosis, people will think about the mind in a very different way than mainstream psychology does. In hypnosis, we typically think of it as being sort of like a 100-story building with dozens of rooms on each floor. And most of us, in the course of our life, won't ever get past the first floor. We kind of camp out on that first floor. We take in the messages we're given during our developmental years. We embody them, we embrace them, and we make it home. We decorate that first floor, and then we start to defend it. If people come in and they say, look, you're only on the first floor. No, this is cool, this is good, this is my life, right? This is the way things are. And we have these very kind of strict beliefs about who we are, what life is, how hard we have to work to get better at Kenpo. And we allow these beliefs to confine us and constrain us and then define us. So with a 100-story building, there's this notion that if we undergo the endeavor of personal improvement, right? We lean into affirmations or hypnosis or psychotherapy or what have you, that we struggle really hard, we might get another floor out of it, or maybe 2 floors. So now we're on the 3rd floor, decorating, making it home, defending, right? But we still haven't seen what's on the other 97 floors. A lot of skill development, a lot of skill performance is based on our beliefs, our perceptions, our projections, our expectations, and all of these are position dependent. As I get further and further up that building and my position changes, the view changes, what's possible for me changes, what I believe about myself changes, what I believe about my ability to improve my performance in Kenpo changes. They're all position dependent, right? So as we start getting further and further up the building, our beliefs change, our perceptions change, the projections, kind of the things we put out onto the world shift, the expectations of life and of ourselves shift, and embracing that shift allows us to improve our performance both instantaneously and over time. The book provides some very specific skills and strategies taken from NLP and from hypnosis to allow you to kind of pick up the lessons that you've learned on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd floor, put them in a backpack, and take off on a journey. Start exploring the next floor, the next floor, the next floor. It gives you some skills that amount to kind of like an X-ray vision where you can see through several floors at a time to see what's up there, what's the view like on the 5th floor, the 6th, the 7th, and then take a shortcut to get there, to have those experiences, develop that skill, and embody those changes. There's a fellow I used to tour with who is an Oriental medical doctor, and he would open his teaching seminars with a story he called Pearls of Wisdom. And in the story of Pearls of Wisdom, there's this clan, a fishing village along the ocean side, and a wandering Taoist monk wanders through, and the clan kind of kidnaps him. They stick him in a shack and they say, we're not going to let you go until you grant us a blessing or a boon, right? And they hang on him for a couple days, and he's doesn't really care, and eventually goes, okay, what the heck, I'll grant them a boon, I'll give him a prophecy. So they gather around, rapt attention, and he says, when the morning comes, I want you to go to the shore side, walk along the shore, picking up stones, putting them in a bag. When the evening comes, you'll notice something changes. And at first you will be glad, but then you will be sad. They're like, we don't know what this means, but he did meet the requirements, so they release the old monk. Morning rolls around, they go up and down the beach, they've got their bags, they're picking up rocks and putting them in the bag, not quite sure why yet. They gather around, and as the sun starts to set, they're all watching their bags, and this miraculous thing happens. Every stone they picked up turns into a pearl. And at first, they're ecstatic, they're happy. Look at all these cool pearls that we have, and they're very glad about it. And as they realize they could have picked up more stones, and if they did, they would have more pearls, they start to get bummed out. So this notion of pearls of wisdom is to say, that this path along the seashore, these bits and pieces that we pick up along the way, become treasures for us unwittingly. We don't always know that what we're picking up at the time will become a treasure. With this book, what my goal is for you as a reader is to be able to go through the exercises, meet parts of your unconscious mind that you weren't necessarily familiar with, but which have been there the entire time, just like the part that calculates how to touch a nose that's 6 inches away from your face. And then glean learnings from that part of your unconscious, kind of embody what it has to tell you, improve your mind-body connection, and sit that down into your Kenpo so that everything you do in Kenpo, from your forms, techniques, your basics, all of it, all gets better. People are constantly amazed at what they're able to do once they've gone through these processes. My goal for you is to find that connection and be pleased with the improvement that you make. It's a simple book. I didn't write it to impress scholars or professors or academics or critics. I wrote it to give you, the reader, the information you need to make a difference in your own personal performance, and that's what it's for. So do me a favor, pick up a copy. If you have any questions, my contact information is in the back of the book. I'm easy to reach. I'm also going to be hosting some forums on Facebook where people can talk about what their experiences have been and about how to clean them up, how to improve them, and kind of to create a community of support to help Kenpo practitioners break through barriers and find new territory, to improve the quality of their performance in the art beyond what they ever imagined possible. That's my goal for the book and for you. So please feel free to pick up a copy, join in on the Facebook group as it grows, and let us know what your experience is. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon.